Yellow again, everybody. Lance Russell and Dave Brown right along ringside, ready to go with another big day. Championship wrestling, I do believe.
Yes, indeed. We have lots of tag team matches on the card today. Opener, we're going to have Jerry Bryan and Rick Morton in here. They'll be going against David Schultz and Dennis Conner.
That will be a testy little tag match, you better believe.
Will indeed. That just gets things started, too. Coming up after that, Buddy Wayne, David Oswald go against the team of Handsome Jimmy Valiant and Steve Regal.
Right.
It's not all. The expiration of time tag team match today. Rick and Robert Gibson on one side of the ring. On the other, it'll be Paul Ellering and Ali Hassan with their manager, Jimmy Hart.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. That's what we're sitting around waiting for a week or two. That one right there.
Right.
Going to be a dynamite show of tag action matches here on Championship Wrestling. We also have some outstanding videotape that we'll be wanting you to take a look at of some of the outstanding matches around the territory. Where'd that word outstanding? Outstanding
yes.
word. Yeah. We're going to be back to action coming up in that opening bout for you. We'll be looking for Schultz and Condrey going against Bryant and Morton right after we take time out for this.
1 fall, 15-minute time limit match, introducing at a total weight of 411 pounds on the right of your screen. From Nashville, Tennessee, Rick Morton, and from Memphis, Tennessee, Jerry Bryan. Going against him in this match at a total weight of 483 pounds. From Jackson, Tennessee, David Schultz. From North Carolina, Dennis Condrey. This match 1 fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee is Thomas Marlin.
By golly, I'm looking forward to this, right? This has the makeup of a really sensational tag match. Schultz and Condrey, big, rugged team, going against a very fast, very young team in Bryant and Morton. Ought to be a dandy. Dennis Condrey finishing up the cosmetics of getting the shades off, and we're ready. Bell time, and here comes Schultz and Bryan out, ready for action, Davey.
Dr. D calls himself David Schultz. Puts Jerry Bryan down on the mat. Bryan, good reaction. He went for the head scissors, didn't get a good one, but he prevented Schultz from setting up on a hold. Bryan back to the corner. Little conference with Rick Morton. David Schultz started for it. Bryan broke up the conference quickly. Tag has been made. This is Dennis Condrey in. Bryan gets the head scissors on him. Condrey kicks out of it. Both of them back up on their feet. Dennis Condrey, a rugged veteran.
Come on, Dennis. Hurt the ball.
Down to the mat, Dennis Condrey. Good takedown. Bryant forced the wrist. Put Condrey on the mat. Condrey pulling hair. Bryant off the rope, shoulder butt. Condrey hits the mat. Jerry Bryant, side mirror, puts him down. Shoulders down on the mat by Condrey as he rolled Bryant down there. David Schultz back in. Bryant greets him with a headlock, but Schultz rolls Bryant's shoulders over on the mat. He got a 1 count. Bryant to the corner. Rick Morton takes over the headlock. Off the ropes. Hey, reversal by Rick Morton. David Schultz thought he had him set up. He was going to roll him right off those ropes, but Morton reversed it on him. Schultz heads for the corner, gets the tag, and here's Dennis Condrey back in. 2 minutes gone, and a 1 fall, 15-minute time limit tag team match. Rick Morton sat down on Condrey's left arm. Condrey flipped him through the air. Look at him go. One reversal after the other. Morton wrapping up that left arm. Condrey started for the tag, but didn't get it on Schultz. Morton does get the tag on Jerry Bryan. Bryan hangs on. Schultz started in there without a tag. He was sent back outside by the referee. But Condrey was close enough to him that he could get a tag on him. Schultz, right hand, upper arm, Bryant on the mat. Counts at 1. Schultz unhappy with the referee. He thought he ought to count and fast forward. Get the 3 count while he had Bryant's shoulders down. He was only able to hold him for a 1 count. Wow, Condrey flipped him down to the mat. 1, 2 count, and Bryant's out of it again to the corner. And here's Rick Morton. Dennis Condrey, remembering some of the treatment that Rick Morton gave him the last trip in there. Morton, one of the most agile wrestlers you'll find anywhere. He can really move in the ring. He's giving away size to Condrey. He's also giving away a fist right there, battling back on his own. Rick Morton dropped hard by Dennis Condrey. David Schultz in after the tag. He picks him up. Suplex. Count of 1, 2, and Bryant is out of it again at the 2 count. And Schultz steamed at the referee again. Schultz thought he was getting a slow count. Condrey Schultz with a double team as they exchange. Condrey sends Morton into the rope. Clotheslined him coming off of there. Not too much. 1. Morton able to break out of it. Condrey gets the tag. Here comes Schultz. Boy, look at Morton go. He's firing a right hand. Fighting fire with fire. Tag made, and here's Jerry Bryant. Bryant wades in there after Schultz. Puts him into the rope. Oh. Good. Drop kick and a cover. 1, 2. 2 count almost. Bryant. Fractions of a second away. Another cover, and he gets a 2 count. Schultz that time threw him about 3 feet in the air as he broke the cover. Bryant into the ropes. Stepped over. Oh, David Schultz high in the air. Caught him in the leg. Made the tag. He didn't go for the pin. Condrey comes in. Schultz was yelling, I want you to get this one. And he does. 5 minutes, 33 seconds. David Schultz, Dennis Condrey coming up with a win over Jerry Bryant and Rick Morton. Boy, Bryant and Morton battled them all the way.
Man, but, I mean, I got to tell you, that was flat battle in there. You know, Dave, it was an interesting thing, though. Schultz and Condrey, I think, went in there, and because of the size differential in there, they kind of had that cavalier attitude about it. They took their best shots. Tremendous suplex on Morton, several things like that, and nothing was effective in there. And they just put it up another gear and powered it on through. And Bryant came in and looked like going great. Just that close to having a 1-2-3 on Schultz. And then Schultz caught him with that sky-high leg right up across there.
No recovery for that.
Oh, boy, I want to tell you.
5:33 the time.
Tough match in 5 minutes, 33 seconds. We got more action, and we're going to be back and take a look at it in just a moment. Coming back into that ring on Channel 3's Championship Wrestling in just a moment. I'll give you the entire card for Tuesday night right there in the Gardens in a moment. Do want to mention a couple of particular bouts. So one, an AWA Southern Tag Team Championship match. Robinson and Lucas defend against Ellering and Hossain. Won't be an easy match, Ken.
No, it won't. You know, Paul Ellery is a very, very fine athlete. He's stays in very good condition, Lance. But you know, when myself and Billy Robinson got these titles, we beat 2 very big men rated number 1 or number 2 in the nation, the Assassins. We are the Southern Tag Team Champions, Ellery, and you come down there with your friend Hussein. You're going to go in that ring to do one thing, is to try to get these belts. We're going to do one thing and try to keep them. You guys try to take them.
Everybody wants them now that you got them, Billy.
Well, I concur with my esteemed partner, obviously. Except for one thing. We're not going to try to keep them. We will keep them, Lance.
I'll tell you what, it's confidence like that that makes it. Here's a man that's going to be handcuffed to Jimmy Hard, Billy Dundee.
That's right, Snake, and every time you stand up, son, I'm going to slap you. By the time this thing is all over, you'll be singing Keep On Dancing, that big muscle-bound jerk up in the ring, because there's no way he can beat Star Wars, and here he is, brother, to tell you all about it.
Of course, Billy is talking about the Southern Heavyweight match when Handsome Jimmy defends against Paul Ellery.
Whoa, Mercy Lancer! I'm hip with all Ellery's jive, baby. He took the snake's cane, whacked Handsome on the head, baby. Hey, brother, You know for a fact, Lancer, if I want to see stars, if I want to get whacked out, if I want to walk around dizzy for a few days, hey, baby, I know what to do. I'll do it to myself. Hey, baby, I'll take something big out for 2 weeks, brother. Hey, I can get it on. Now, the surprise is Jimmy the Snake Hot. You can't interfere, baby. You're going to be handcuffed to Superstar Billy. Now, baby, Jimmy Hot, if you got to do some business, brother, like go to the bathroom or go to get some popcorn or make an obscene phone call, you better do it today, Jack, because, brother, Tuesday, Louisville, you're going to be handcuffed to my man, brother.
Yes, that's right. Tuesday, be there. Sometimes kind of hard when you're dealing with Schultz and Condrey to get in a word straight away and edgewise. Well, that was the way it was with referees. A match took place last, I don't know, it was a week, something like that ago, and Dennis Condrey and David Schultz went against the Gibsons. Now, here was a situation that I think brings up a very interesting one because it's controversial. I had a lot of people talk to me about it. It was a question of where the referee had been addled. The wrong hands, in our opinion, and I think as you will see, and we're going to show the tape, clearly shows that the Gibsons had the match won. But the CWA, in reviewing this entire situation, and of course there was an appeal from the promoters to at least take a look at it, consideration. CWA has come down with this kind of an edict on it, and it makes a lot of sense too. That the stipulation of saying, let's take a look at a tape and then reverse a decision, that it is their decision that in the future, that until all of the sports, the football and baseball and basketball and everybody goes to an instant replay or a review of tape to make official decisions, that this will no longer take place. Now, when you look at this, you will say, well, that was not fair. Okay, put it as not fair, but it is going to stand as a win for Schultz and Condrey in it. We want you to see what happens in there, and I think you will appreciate the fact that the Gibsons do, in fact, have a claim for a victory, although officially it's going to stand because tape is not going to be the arbitrator. Let's roll the tape and take a look at it right now and see what happens. David Schultz tie it up. Boy, Schultz is a big one. So you don't really realize till you're standing up next to him how big this guy is. Davis put on about 15 pounds. Dr. D tags out to Condrey. Condrey planning a knee lift on Ricky Gibson. Woo! Towering backdrop. Another tag on David Schultz. Rick in. Man, he was caught right up at the throat line with that leg. Schultz went way up in the air and clotheslined him with a leg. That's the only way I know to describe it. Schultz, front face lock, holds him until Condrey drops on him with a leg. Count of one, and that's all. Not even quite that. Referee counting on Condrey for choking, I believe. Over the shoulder goes Condrey, and Rick tags Brother Robert. Robert, who in a previous encounter with these guys had his head severely busted open 2 or 3 places. So he has no lingering love for either one of them. Robert just crushing Condrey. Watch him, though. Dennis has been around. Robert nails him again. Stomps on him. Robert telling Schultz, come on in here. You're the one I'm looking for. Robert telling the referee to please get out of the way so he can get it on with Schultz. Here's David finally in the ring. And Robert blocks that right of Schultz and nails him. Drop kick. Rick and Robert teaming it together. Rick rattling him with the right hand. David's over at the rope, so Rick is not going to get any pin, but he is administering some punishment. Schultz's head rammed into that post. Robert going after Dennis Condrey in the ring. Backdrop. Schultz with Rick. Robert with Condrey broken up now by the referee, and Rick and Schultz going at it. Schultz, where Rick had nailed him into that ring post. He busted his head open, so he's feeling a little bit. Robert gets a crack at him. Crowd loving it. Gibson continuing to pile it on Schultz. Tells his brother, get ready. Slams him in. He doesn't even go for a count. He just picks him up and tags Robert. Wants some of that hide. Rick Gibson still putting the punishment on, or rather Robert Gibson on David Schultz. Robert loving this. He lost a little blood from David and Dennis, and he's happy to see the same thing being paid back to Schultz. Robert dropping the elbow on David, and Dennis from the outside. Rick pushes the referee back and fires a series of about 6 rights, while Robert staying with David Schultz. Robert is thrown across the ring. Oh, the poor referee, Calhoun. He was knocked flat. Count of 1, 2, 3, and he got him. Seven minutes, 39 seconds. Wait a minute. He's holding up Schultz's hand. Rick saying, what are you doing? 7:39. The hand of Schultz was held up. Referee Jerry Calhoun, who really took a shot when Schultz Drew Robert across the ring. Boy, I don't understand. He just must have been addled. Robert absolutely had him. Rick Gibson furious, and I don't blame him. He pinned him. Was the situation in there, Dave? Pretty obvious why, too. He took a real blast, man. And you can say any kind of comment you want. I kind of concur with the CWA in this situation that you cannot. I mean, you know, you'd never have a decision to a match in a lot of matches. Right. It'd be weeks and weeks and weeks. So the decision stands. You saw what happened. The Gibsons know what happened, and so that's the way it was. But it's an illustration of, I think, that makes the point in terms of using videotape. Maybe someday, not right now, Jeff. Okay, we got more action. We're going to get back to it right after we take time out for this. We got action that took place between handsome Jimmy Valiant and Paul Ellering. That's quite a pairing, at least. I want you to take a look at some of that highlights of that big action. Starts using tactics like that, he is going right into handsome Jimmy's backyard. Handsome Jimmy hanging on to a side headlock one way or the other. Firing him off, and handsome Jimmy just hanging a hand in that hair. Ooh, Ellering blast Valiant into the ropes, into that turnbuckle. Ellering going at the throat, it appears, from here, and the referee telling him about it. Yeah, you come on up in here, Jimmy Hart. It'll be all of it. Disqualification.
Come on, hands up!
Handsome comes back. Going for that juggler himself. Back Referee moving Handsome Jimmy back. There's Jimmy Hart running around the ring. Ought to be a disqualification right there. Handsome Jimmy grabs him. Paul nails Jimmy in the back. And it's going to be a disqualification. .801, Ellering disqualified. The winner and still the Southern Heavyweight Champion, Handsome Jimmy. The time, 8:01. Jimmy the winner over Paul Ellering on a disqualification. Hart and Ellering, having been disqualified, figure they'll take the opportunity to administer a little punishment on the still champion, Jimmy Valiant. Ellering opened himself up for a little fine right there as he pushes the referee down. Hounds Handsome Jimmy with that stick. Here comes Dundee. And there goes Ellering. So Handsome Jimmy, still the Southern Heavyweight title holder, as Dundee comes in and moves Ellering and Hart out of there. 8:01 was the official time. Yes, as a matter of fact, that's the way it was when Ellering and Handsome Jimmy got it together. My golly, good action for a fact. Some of it a little too much action in there, as you saw Ellering swinging sticks and trees and everything else. We're going to be back with more wrestling action right after we take time out for this. Alrighty, back to the action in the ring in just a moment. I told you a little bit ago we'd give you the entire card. First, I want to remind you folks in Madisonville, this very night, action is taking place in Madisonville. Great card down there. Children under 6 are free, and be looking for you in Madisonville, Kentucky. Now, Tuesday night, right there in the Louisville Gardens, Steve Regal and Rick Morton take on the Assassins. Good tag action match. Bill Dundee, Sonny King. Boy, what a single match that one's going to be. Southern Tag Team title defense by Ken Lucas and Billy Robinson against Paul Ellering and Ali Hussein. And it's going to be David Schultz and Dennis Condrey facing the Gibsons. 2 referees stationed at ringside, and that's going to be taking care of a lot of that hanky-panky. And then finally, there will be a Southern Heavyweight title match when Paul Ellering will take on Handsome Jimmy Valiant for the title. But this time, Jimmy Hart is going to be handcuffed to Bill Dundee down at ringside. Well, it's all happening Tuesday night right there in the Louisville Gardens. Each and every one of them is spectacular.
Handsome Jimmy on his way to the ring right now. His partner Steve Regal with him and their opponents making their way up to ringside right about now. Referee is there. We are just about ready to go. This is going to be a one-fall, 15-minute time limit match at a total weight of 468 pounds on the left of your screen. From Jonesboro, Arkansas, David Oswald. And from Memphis, Tennessee, Buddy Wayne. Going against him at a total of 463 pounds. From Indianapolis, Indiana, Steve Regal. And from New York City, Handsome Jimmy Valiant. This match will be one fall, 15-minute time limit. Referee Tommy Marlin.
Okay, Dave. Wild and woolly, Handsome Jimmy up there with Steve Regal. That's quite a pairing. I don't know that we have ever seen Handsome Jimmy and Steve as tag partners. Thomas Marlin, the referee, says ring the bell, and David Oswald will be starting out going against Steve Regal.
Oswald and Regal, about the same size. Regal, oh, what a fine wrestler he has become over the last months and couple of years. Oswald, a good move by Oswald. He hooked his feet over that bottom rope. That is where he got a hole broken. Oswald. Wait a minute. Back to the corner. A little conference with Buddy Wayne. Steve Regal. A couple of side mares puts him down. Buddy Wayne in there after the tag. Buddy Wayne. Gonna go after him fast. Regal put him on the mat. Got a 1 count. Regal quickly on his feet. Right back to work on Buddy Wayne. Keep him tied up. Minute 15 seconds gone. 15 minutes the overall time limit. Buddy Wayne trying to hang on, but Steve Regal able to break out of it. Advantage right now to Regal. Handsome Jimmy over in the corner says, "You're doing fine, Steve. Let me know when you get in trouble." Back on the ropes. Wrist lock by Regal. Gonna have to give it up. Referee Tommy Marlin right there called for the break because they were on the ropes. Buddy Wayne using the forearm. And hey, the fist. Regal puts him into the ropes. Buddy Wayne brings the foot up. Got Regal off his feet, down on the mat. Buddy Wayne over to the corner. Here's David Oswald back in. Oh, reversal by Regal. Sent Oswald into the ropes. Backdrop coming off of there. Regal over to the corner, and here he is. Primed and ready. Handsome Jimmy. Buddy Wayne steps in. Falls back out. As Handsome Jimmy smacks him a couple of times. Oswald into the rope. Handsome Jimmy with a chant. Hey, hey, hey. 1, 2, 3. That's going to be it. Right there. Oh. Steve Regal, Handsome Jimmy. Now, Handsome Jimmy is helping Oswald up by the hair. Oh, is helping him out, too. Over the top rope. Handsome Jimmy and Steve Regal celebrating victory in the first fall. Time on 2 minutes, 47 seconds, 2:47.
And Oswald, in retrospect, brother, went down to the dust, brother. Yes, sir.
Down to the
Well,
dust.
Mustang.
To the dust, indeed.
What did he say? What did he
I'm
say?
not sure what all that
I don't want to ask
but,
him, though.
no.
I'll tell you for a fact.
He's happy. He won.
Yeah, he is.
247.
I'm glad he's happy, I got to say. Boy, I'll tell you, he deposited Oswald out of there. Bam. That's Handsome Jimmy. We got more action coming up, and boy, do we have action coming up. Paul Ellering, Ali Hassan, going against Rick and Robert Gibson in an expiration of time tag match. That's where we're sitting right where you are. We're going to be back in just a moment.
Expiration of time match coming up here. There is Jimmy Hart. Ali Hussein coming into the ring with Paul Ellering. The Gibson brothers making their way over to their corner right now. This match will go to the expiration of time. We'll add them up when the time expires, and the team that has the most falls to their credit will win the match. Introducing at a total weight of 459 pounds from Tehran, Ali Hussein. His partner from Melrose, Minnesota, Paul Ellering, their manager, Jimmy Hart. Going against him at a total of 454 pounds out of Pensacola, Florida, Rick and Robert Gibson. This match to the expiration of time. Your referee is Thomas Marlin.
Okay, yeah.
See the gas can on the back of Hussein's
Oh,
there?
yeah, I hadn't noticed that. Oh, I don't know what it says. It says something on it, but we probably don't know.
Probably don't want to read it, no, but it...
the Oil Sheik and strongman Paul Ellering. Boy, that Ellering is big.
Oh, he
I
is.
tell you. Bell time. Here we go. It's going to be Rick Gibson starting against Ali Hussein. Rick asking the referee, please, to keep Jimmy Hart down in that chair and keep the stick out of the ring and everything else. But if he is successful in doing that, he'll be the first one that is, because Rick Gibson hangs on to that side headlock. He mares Ali Hussein right straight over and down the center of the ring. Robert on the outside, and Paul Ellering on the outside. Ought to be a doggone good expiration of time match. two powerhouse teams in there. The Gibsons tag out, and Robert's in now. Robert being driven over to the corner, and Hossein gets a tag on Ellering, but Robert making the switch very, very fast. Ellering into a head scissors, but look at Robert right out of it and back to the feet.
Boy, Robert made one of the best switches I've ever seen there after that tag was made, right off of Hossein, Paul Ellering with a headlock.
Waist lock by Ellering, trying to figure out how to take Robert off his feet. But Robert, nice move. He hooked that arm, rolled with it, and took him over and down. There was a case where Robert really had those legs spread, and Ellering was trying to take him to the side. Probably should have gone straight up with him in hindsight. Not easy to do when you got somebody like Robert Gibson going against you. Rick in there now. Ellering went for a wrist lock, changed it to an arm bar. Jimmy Hart antagonizing folks. But he's back in his chair now. Rick Gibson, big body slam off of Ellering. Takes Paul over and goes into that bar again. But that's like trying to get an arm bar on a telephone pole when you grab that arm of Ellering's.
Except that telephone pole won't fight back. Ellering does.
That's right. And he just did. And now he tags Hossein. And Ellering will be out. Hossein in with Rick Gibson. Drops the elbow on Gibson. Rick off the ropes. Catches him with a forearm. Going to the corner and makes a tag on Robert. Big drag. Yes. Robert.
2 minutes, 45 seconds gone in the first fall.
Coming up on the 3-minute mark. This is an expiration of time, and as Dave has so often explained to you, the team with the most falls will be the victor. There's no set number, like 1 fall or 2 out of 3 or whatever. Into the ropes. Robert, sunset flip. 1, 2, but they didn't get it. Hossein was in to interfere. Ellering snaps Robert straight up over the shoulder and bangs him down. I know, Jim, champions both, through and through. Ellering and Hossein double teaming Robert in the corner. Rick, a long way away, decides to shorten the distance as he comes over to even it up. He pops his brother over to the corner, makes the tag, and back in. How about that one, Davey,
yeah.
huh?
That's the quickest way to get to the corner, all right.
Boy, you betcha. Beautiful drop kick. Roll him up. 1. Ellering interferes. That's tag on Paul, and Paul Ellering back in with Rick Gibson. Paul saying, let's slow it down. Open the fist up. None of this dirty stuff.
Not so sure it's a good move to get involved in that with Paul Ellering.
Sir, you got that right. Ellering using that superior strength of his. Rick Gibson. Oh, yeah. There is a way. He slams a foot of Paul Ellering. Ellering hobbles to the corner and tags the oil sheik.
Reminds me of the Fabulous One. He used to work the hands all the way down to the mat, release the hold, and stomp his opponent's hands.
Yes, he did. Rick Gibson tangling with Ali Hassan with better results. This is the first ball of an expiration of time match.
Oh. Rick just tried that very thing, but it didn't work. He had the hands on the mat, but Hassan a little too quick.
Ellering back in. Tag on Robert. Robert Gibson, Paul Ellering. Robert drops it down. Thought for a minute he was going to a short arm scissors, but he just dropped with that lower leg. Jimmy Hart up screaming about pulling the hair.
We've just passed 6 minutes.
6 minutes passed in action in this expiration of time first ball. Ellering going to the choke. He lets it go. Slams Robert into the elbow of Ali Hassan. And drops that huge upper arm of his own right on Robert. Straight up in the air. Ooh, he hammered him. Missed the elbow, and Robert's out of the way. Tags Hassan. Tag on Rick Gibson. Look at Rick snap him over that shoulder. Body slam. Dumped in. Rolls him down. Covers. One. Up. Ellering in to interfere again. Referee Tommy Marlin says, watch it. Meaning, of course, flirting with a disqualification.
7 minutes gone.
Back to the ropes, and that'll call for a break. Big knee right to the midsection. Rick over the shoulder. There's a cover. Now, he didn't even get a count. Rick with a single leg scoop in there. He pulls it out, drops him down, hooks it over with a toe. We're about 7.5 minutes into action, and Rick Gibson, while he's got the advantage hole, was in trouble. The referee said let it go because Ellering had him right in the face with his fingers, digging at his mouth, and then the referee checking to be sure he's not on the throat. He may pry Rick out of this one. Rick trying to hold it on, and Ellering up on top now. Takes over the advantage on Rick. Over and down goes Rick Gibson. Kicks his way out of it. Rolls to the corner and tags Robert. Boy, they've done a beautiful job today.
They have. Great
Gibson's
teamwork.
really moving in and out of there well. Whip. Backdrop on Big Paul. Tag on Hussein, I believe. Ellering working on Gibson in the corner. Holds him for Hussein. And Robert tags right back to Rick. Coming up on 9 minutes of action. Nice backdrop from Rick. Step over, spinning leg, going for the arch. And there goes Robert. Now here comes Schultz and Condrey in. Ring the bell, the referee says. Outside interference. And Robert was going into that spinning leg lock with an arch, which he and Rick both used so beautifully. Schultz and Condrey hit the ring, and now it's 4-on-2. Really 3 because Hussein's knee having been messed up. Here comes Handsome Jimmy and the Superstar. They change the odds just a little right here.
Oh!
Ring ball. Gibson, Schultz, Condrey, Ellering, Hussein, Handsome Jimmy, Superstar all in there. The referee, Tommy Marlin, totally helpless with it. Jimmy Hart on the outside saying, let's get out of here. Now he's got one of his members behind. Oh, look, they busted open Rick Gibson again. He came in there bandaged, and he ended up in trouble in that first ball. But it's going to be a victory day because referee Tommy Marlin called for the bell and a disqualification because of interference of Schultz and Condrey, who jumped in on behalf of Ellering and Hussein. Robert was just going into a pinhole with that spinning leg lock with the arch on it, and Schultz and Condrey, bang, nailed into it hard.
Also a hole where Robert could have gotten hurt there, because it's difficult to get the legs untangled once you get that hold on somebody. And he was smacked by Schultz, so fortunately he didn't damage his legs there.
Yeah, he was just beginning to go into the arch on that kind of a situation. There was a deal where I know that the audience loves to see that free-for-all when you got 8 guys going in there, but it also is dangerous. Hussein had his leg hurt because of the spinning leg lock, and he was kind of out of it most of the time. They got him involved, though. Just one of them went over and grabbed a hold of him and got him involved completely. But the end result is that it is only one fall, and time permitting, there will be others, as a matter of fact, on an expiration of time. It will go down in how long, Dave?
Time on it was 9 minutes, 10 seconds with the disqualification.
Disqualification.
Right.
So regardless of how it came about, I think with the leg lock and the arch that Robert would have gotten himself a fall anyhow. So I don't think it was something that where they were lucky to have interference on the other side because they won the fall. No, I think they would have had the fall in any event because of the maneuver between it. Continuing bad blood between Schultz and Condrey and the Gibsons, and they intervened at a point where I guess from the standpoint of Ellering and Hussein, it really didn't make a whole lot of difference in losing the first fall, as we said, because I think Robert probably had it there. We're going to take time out. We'll be back with more wrestling action for you right after we check the clock. Don't go away. Still some action on Championship Wrestling. We'll be back to it right here in Wave Country in just a moment. Again, tonight, Madisonville, Kentucky, big card. Tuesday night, Louisville Gardens. Gracious, what a night of action. Dundee and King, for instance. Schultz and Condrey against the Gibsons. Southern Tag Team Championship match when Lucas and Robinson defend against Ellering and Hussein with Jimmy Hart. Well, you guys are all going to be involved in lots of action, as well as the Southern Heavyweight title, Jim.
This is the happiest night in our lives, man. The happiest night in our lives. Let me ask you something. Why do you think the Louisville Cardinals are winners? Because I am the man with the plan, baby. I'm the one that tells them how to win. United States hockey team, why did they win the gold medals? Because I'm the man with the plan. And Tuesday night, Paul the King Ellering, Ali Hussein are going to step into that round circle, baby, and take away the belts from Lucas and Robinson. Take about a 30-second break, baby. Put a little perfume coming on, man, and coming back on against handsome Jimmy Valiant. And I'm going to be handcuffed to ringside.
Yes, you are.
Let me tell you, they don't call me Jimmy Houdini Hart for nothing, baby. Am I word? No. Tell them, Paul, baby. Woo!
Look at this Lance Russell. What do these suspenders say?
It says Superman.
That's right. Is it a plane?
No.
Is it a train?
Heck no.
It's Paul Superman Ellering. That's right. It's Paul Superman Ellering. And my manager, Jimmy Hart, don't write no checks this body can't cash. We're going to come through. We're going to have all the belts. What are we going to do with all these belts, Jimmy? They're going to cover my body.
All over, baby. We'll work something.
We don't want them to cover my body. Remember this. Remember this. The body's going to come through. Ken Lucas, you're now Ken Mucus. Puke Robinson, you're both ugly. You're both fat. I'm beautiful and I'm pretty. Jimmy Valiant, Disco Duck, you're going to go down and we're going to beat you like the dog that you are.
It'll all be happening Tuesday night right there in the Louisville Gardens. Don't you dare miss it. The check of the time, the battle is over with, so the Gibsons are going to win it without having to go back in there. It's probably a pretty good thing for Rick, too, because he, in that whole big schmoz that took place in there, he got his head busted open again, and doesn't look. How about a recap?
Yeah. Okay. In the opening match, Schultz and Condrey won as expected, but they had quite a battle from Jerry Bryan and Rick Morton. Then it was Jimmy Valiant and Steve Regal winning in 2:47 over Buddy Wayne and David Oswald. And the Gibsons, Rick and Robert, win it by disqualification over Paul Ellering, Ali Hussein, and Jimmy Hart. As Schultz and Condrey interfered, referee said, ring the bell, stop it. That's it. Gibsons win it with that one fall.
We rang the bell and stopped it. The Gibsons are the victors in that particular one in there. We hope maybe you'll make it a point. You'll be back with us for our Championship Wrestling next week. We'll have some more of the roughest, toughest wrestling action that you will see anywhere. Make your plans. Bring a friend. Be sure and tell them about it. We'll be looking for you. For Dave Brown, this is Lance Russell. Looking for you next week on Championship Wrestling. Bye-bye, everybody.
announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the Jarrett Welch Wrestling Company.